Hey guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you to talk to you a little bit about our new light therapy service now being offered to clients. The great thing about this new service is it can actually brighten your covers and help to reduce foxing and stains. Check this out, guys. Here is a copy of Batman 227. And this one here has some really significant staining on the back cover, as you can see. Now here are the before pictures. Now you can obviously see the difference in the before and afters. The back cover is much brighter and those stains have been reduced significantly. And here is the comic back from CGC right now. It came back in 8.0. And the great thing about this book is it originally was 6.5. So yeah, light therapy does work. If you have a comic book in your collection that you think may benefit from our new light therapy service, simply send us an email with some pictures and we'll get back to you and let you know whether or not we think your comic is a good candidate. Thanks very much, guys, and look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Hey guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. 3.5 boxes to share with you tonight, guys. A few magazines, a lot of comic books, a whole bunch of Golden Age books, and a whole bunch of modern books, a whole bunch of goodies to share with you today. We're also going to talk today a little bit about tariffs. We're going to talk about the tariffs. A lot of questions about Mr. Trump's new idea and how it may affect us here as comic book enthusiasts. And also going to talk a little bit about our trading card service that I alluded to a few weeks ago. So if you're new here, guys, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser, like I said. We come on here every single week and share with you guys all the comics that are coming back from CGC after having been pressed and cleaned and then sent to CGC for grading. Again, these are not my books. These are client books that I'm sharing with you today. So if you're new here, I think you might like it at this channel. So please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the content as well. By doing so, you can join in the conversation as well. I have a live chat that goes on throughout the duration of the show. And if you have any questions about CGC, about pressing and cleaning, conservation, what have you, you can ask those questions. I'll be happy to answer those questions every week. Okay, so let's get started. I've got a lot of books to share with you. So let's go to the chat and see who's here. Make sure my sound is working and everything, because sometimes you go. A lot of guys already here. It looks like everybody is everything's good. Okay, so let's get started. All right. So first off, in no particular order. And by the way, I have another 3 boxes I got to get to as well. I don't like doing more than 3.5 boxes per night because it gets to be too long of a show. And I have 3 more boxes because it's the March break coming up. I'll probably do another show on Sunday or maybe Monday. So again, hit that notification bell too. You'll know when I go live next. And the reason I want to do that is I have more boxes heading back as we speak. And I don't want to have like 7 boxes here for next Tuesday. All right, here we go. So first off, we have some JSA books. This one here belongs to Mike. I know that for a fact because it's an oddball kind of a book. It's Ed and Red's comic strip #1 right here. And we have some authentication on the back, some signatures on the back there. It's signed by Leanna Kangas and Ed the Sock. And if you don't know Ed the Sock, if you're from Toronto, you know who Ed the Sock is. If you're not from the GTA, if you're American, you might not know who Ed the Sock is. Anyway, he's kind of a local celebrity, loose word celebrity. Next we have Infinite Crisis #2. And this is signed by George Perez right there. I'm going to put my speaker down, my microphone down so I can, there we go. All right. Charlie's here. Hey, honey, how are you? My daughter's in the house today. Good to see you, doll. I'm really bright. My lights are really bright today. I'm going to turn this one here off. Maybe that'll make a bit of a difference. Not really, but yeah, a little bit. Okay. Next, we have a Batman 152 in a 9.6 Chip Zdarsky authentication right there. Batman and Beetlejuice, right? That's Beetlejuice. It sure is. Kind of makes sense since they're both Tim Burton. There's a Tim Burton Batman, right? So kind of neat. Then we have another Chip Zdarsky. We have Batman 125. Also signed by Chip in a 9.8. Another very old book, 2022. But again, look at those ripples. See those ripples at the top there? Very common. Very, very common. Kevin, why are those ripples on there? The new paper sucks. The new paper is very, very thin. And when you have dark covers like this, when they spray the cover or they apply the image to the cover, the ink is very heavy and it causes that sort of rippling. You can press it out, but oftentimes when it gets put into this, slab, oftentimes it just comes back. CGC is aware of the limitations and the characteristics of modern paper, so they usually tend to turn a blind eye to such defects. Next, what do we have? We also have another one. We have a 9.8, another Chip Zdarsky, a beautiful Catwoman cover, Batman 127, Lee variant cover, but it's signed by Chip right there. Very nice. Very, very nice. Who do we have in the house today? We have Derek. Oh, who's first? Chris Johnson's here. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Dave's in the house too. How you doing, Dave? Winston's here. Canada Canuck is in the house. How you doing? Dannon, how are you, Dannon? Missed you on Saturday. Happy Daredevil Born Again. Yeah, if you don't know this already, Daredevil Born Again starts today. 2 episodes. They dropped 2 episodes. Kaylin's here. How you doing, Kaylin? Josh is here. Derek's here. How you doing, Derek? John Sherwood every week. How you doing from Mississauga? Good to see you, John. Loman Dunn's in the house. My daughter Charlie's here. Charlie used to work for me, but she doesn't work for me anymore because she's always at school. She's gone away. But when she gets back, hopefully she'll start doing some work for me again. Yo, there's Luis Mendoza. How are you, my friend? Joey Lane's in the house. Hey, Kevin, excited for tonight's show. Thank you, Joey. Me too. Dave House is here. Trevor's here. Hey, Doc, good to see you. You too, Trevor. Good to see you and the wife on Sunday at the show. I'm hopeful my ASM 16 is in. I don't recall seeing it, but you never know. And Sean Connolly's here. Okay, that's all the hellos. Let's keep going here. Lots of books to go through. We got a lot of pre-code horrors coming up. And we got a Vault of Horror number 24 and a 1.5. We have an Amazing Spider-Man 28. This one was dinged with color touch. 8.5 though, beautiful copy, but unfortunately there's color touch somewhere on this book. We have a 1.8 copy, Journey into Unknown Worlds, number 37. And a 1.8, some nice Golden Age books here. Gene Colan art on that one. We got another Vault of Horror, number 30. And a 4.0. This is a classic one right here, guys. Right there, right? The arm. The bodiless arm on the subway. That's a classic Vault of Horror issue number 30 right there. We got lots more where that came from. Vault of Horror number 28 and a 5.5. Beautiful Golden Age beauties here, guys. If you're just getting here now and you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. I'm trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. It's taking me forever. I'm like at 2,888. Holy cow. All I need is like another 120 and I'm at 3,000. It only takes, what, a million years? I don't understand how anybody gets subscribers on YouTube. Boy, I'm consistent, but no one wants to hit subscribe. So please do if you haven't done so already. Crime Suspense Stories 19, another classic cover. Beautiful classic cover right there. Again, these bodiless arms doing all sorts of crazy things. In this case, strangling this woman underwater. Very cool. The Vault of Horror number 22. In a 2.0 with white pages. Check this out. The back is pretty chewed up pretty good there. Right, look at that. Check that out. Right there. But it came back white pages. 2.0. We'll take that. Then we got a Vault of Horror 29 in a 5.5. Oh, there we go. Very cool. Very cool. Lots more where that came from, guys. Lots more where that came from. We have this magazine is Haunted, number 14. It's a Fawcett publication. This is the last Fawcett issue. Now, I'm not sure if they mean the last Fawcett issue overall. Now, was that caused by DC's lawsuit against Fawcett? I don't know the details there, but I wouldn't be surprised. We got a Jackie Robinson, number 5 in a 4.5. Some books you don't see too often. We got a Yankees comic, The Thrilling True Story of the Baseball Yankees. No number, another Fawcett publication, in a 3.5. Now, they're pretty generous with these books, man. Like, if this was a Silver Age book, this would be like a 2.5 probably. From 1952. So we have a Star Trek number 1, Gold Key, in a 7.5. Very cool. Captain Kirk on the back. Very nice. I heard rumblings are trying to get William Shatner into another Star Trek series. I don't know how that's going to be possible or not. He is quite aged. We have a Jackie Robinson number 4 in a 4.0. Another Spider-Man book. Oh, thank goodness. Finally, I see a book that I think belongs to a Montreal client. Another Color Touch book here, 8.5. Both those books, I wonder if they're in the same order. Both are 8.5. Both had a little bit of color touch. And this is a little bit of color touch. Very hard to detect when it's very tiny. I don't know how sometimes they detect it. We have this book, I think, finishes off one of my Montreal orders now. I think it does. And it is a Astonishing Tales, number 25. First appearance of Deathstroke in an 8.5 white pager. I think this is the one. And there's more still. Sorry, check this one out, guys. This is a great one. This is a Schomburg cover, I think, isn't it? Yeah, Schomburg cover. Thrilling Comics number 67 in a 4.0. Wow. Check that way, baby out. That's another very classic cover right there. Very, very nice. And then we have Strange Fantasy number 10. This one's restored. It says there's glue on cover of this one. 3.5. And then last but not least, from this, the first box of 3.5, guys. So we've got 2.5 more boxes to go. I will do another box of comics, and then I have like a half box of magazines, and then I'll finish off with a box of comics as well. Thrilling Comics number 43 from 1944. This is our thumbnail image of the week right there, in a 4.0. In a 4.0. Very nice. All right, let's put these away. Let's put these away. Here's all the invoices that go with that order. I'll move it there, and I'll shove that back about 3 feet. And I'll bring over another box. Woo, let's see what you guys are saying. Nikki Blaze, I'm not sure. Is that you? Are you Montreal? Is that you? I think it is. I think it is. Carlo Mondello to my daughter, who I'm not sure if Charlie's even listening still. She's probably not. Charlie, time that you join the show. Hey, I've been begging Charlie to join the show, and my wife, no, I don't want to go online. Jack still will, but he's doing his own thing now. Peter says, damn it, Jim. I'm the comic doctor, not a real doctor. Obviously, Peter is referring to the Star Trek number 1 that I just showed off. John's enjoying the awesome stuff. And Nikki Blaze says, I think it's yours. ASM 129, right? If my memory serves. Yes. Now, in regards to these books, I will sort these hopefully maybe tomorrow if I get a chance. And I will send out notices for any complete orders. If you want to come by the shop on Saturday to pick them up. And if you are long distance, like you are my friend, Nikki Blaze, then they will probably go out, return to you sometime next week. I'm going to try to do a shipping day next week at some point. I did one last week. I'm not going to lie. I did a couple of orders today as well. And then I'm going to send out some books hopefully next week as well and get those books back. I know you've been very, very patient. We've been waiting for that vintage book. Geez, order came in July, I believe, right, Nikki Blaze? July. I met you in, I think it was Montreal. So August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 8 months. Now, that said, the other books were back within the 4-month period, 4.5 month period. That one book took an additional 3 months. I'm still waiting for more. There are still books at CGC that have been submitted back in September, October. They're still sitting there, and they haven't even moved to the next tier yet. Oy vey. Too much. All right, let's keep going. Here we go. Speaking of ASM 129, a very nice ASM 129 here, an authenticated Stanley signature. I think this might be a Kraken press. I don't remember. And I think this is JP's book. JP's book in a 9.2. Do I have his? I don't think I have his. No, I don't have his thing handy, but if it is, you're going to see it on my Instagram. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, get on over there. I'm trying to do daily posts on Instagram. Try to do 2 posts a day. I have different segments. I do what's in the press over there. I do bragging rights, right? When I get really high, awesome, rare books or really high grade books, I'll throw them on there and show them off. I'll do before and after pictures, conservation before and after, press and cleaning before and after. Today, I did a really quick dry cleaning before and after. So if you like that kind of content on your Instagram, go on over there. Just look at Comic Doc. I have a few Instagram accounts, but the main one is the blue Comic Doctor logo, and it says @Comic Doc. So give me a follow if you haven't already. Okay, so there's that. Now we have some more Golden Age, which is kind of good. We have Walt Disney's Donald Duck 238. 4-color 238 right there in a 5.0. We have a TMNT number 5 in a 9.6. What else do we have here? What else do we have in here? We have a Planet Comics. Dave Stevens. Yeah, Dave Stevens covered Planet Comics number 1 in a 9.4. We have a Ghost Rider number 1 in a 6.0. Let's see if my daughter will join me. Maybe she'll join me if I ask her to come on here. Let's see. Facebook. Let's see if she'll come on for a couple seconds and say hello. Don't think she will, but let's see. Come on. That's not what I want. Stupid thing. No, it's not working. I tell you, this messenger always glitches on me. Always. Always glitches. Let's see. All right. What else we got? We got a Ghost Rider number 1. I think I showed you that one already in a 6.0. And then we have a Hero for Hire number 1 in a 7.0. First Luke Cage. Chris Colas, that signed ASM is nice. Yeah, tell me. I have 2 ASM 129s. Both are 8.0s. I want to trade them up for a 9.2 or a 9.4 or even a 9.6, maybe pay a little bit of extra. I just want to get a higher grade. Oh, Haggart, the grade is there. How are you? That is Colin. How you doing, Colin? Good to see you. Hopefully this Friday, Colin, we're going to work something out. I'll get in touch. What else do we have here? Phil Ailing, how are you, buddy? We got an ASM 122 and a 7.5 to go along with that one. We have an ASM. You got to have the 121 to go along with it. That one's a little higher grade. That's an 8.5. This is the more valuable of the two anyway, so that's probably the one to have. Every time I try to book something else comes up and I get crazy, Colin. You know how it is. But I have a week off coming up with March break, so I'll have a little bit more time. We got Incredible Hulk number 102 in a 3.0. So that looks nice. That to me looks nice. Oh, I see. Okay, look at that, guys. See that water staining back there? All this water staining there. That's why this book is so low, a 3.0. This book looks like a 5.5 or a 6, but that staining made it go down. Now, that staining, by the way, that is a perfect contender for deacidification, because the deacidification will not only lighten this up, it will remove that water tide line and it'll pretty much virtually disappear. But then you got to say, but Kevin, is it worth it? And that's where it comes in. Is it worth it on this book to spend $150 for a deacidification service? I don't know. Probably not. But I mean, it would work. It would. I mean, if you have a book that is more valuable than this and has that kind of a defect, yeah, that deacidification is something you really want to do for sure. It will totally clean up those types of stains. What else do we have here? We have been seeing this book come in a lot lately, both this version and the Marvel version. We have DC Comics Presents 47 with the Masters of the Universe versus Superman. Both movies, well, Superman's on its way, and the Masters of the Universe movie is on its way. Kalen asks a very good question here. He says, would deacidification and light therapy give you a purple label? Depends. It depends. Not the answer you want to hear, right? I have seen examples of deacidification and light therapy especially be given purple labels. Luckily, we haven't yet. All the books we have worked on have all come back blue label. Now, today I reviewed a book at the shop. Napur did it. And both her and Charlo insisted the back page was bright white to begin with. And I'm looking at it going, this one might be, I don't know. This one's kind of a close call to me. So we had one today, a magazine we worked on today that I think might get stung. But hey, I thought that before, and so far, so good. I would not be offering this service if I thought that when we were done with them, they were all going to come back purple labels or conserved because of the work we do. We are very, very conservative with it. And I think it shows, because so far, all the examples that have come back have been all blue label. Thank goodness, which is great, which means we're doing something right. I'm quite happy about that. Grounder says, hey, Kev, I have a video game box with some old mold. Are you able to remove some of that? We don't love working on mold, Grounder. Charlie is here. Because it's not good for us. I don't want to breathe that stuff in. And, you can create these chambers to kind of to neutralize the mold. But I just kind of stay away from it, to be honest. If you contact me, I'll tell you how you can kind of tackle it yourself. I mean, to kind of try to abate it a little bit. But I just don't want to get into it. It's the same thing with doing like chemical baths. Like you can do like to remove tape, guys, and to remove certain types of adhesives, and to remove even some kinds of inks and previous restoration work. You have to do like a chem bath. It's like a what do you call it? Not a chemical. Well, it is a chemical bath. They use like thinners and things like to submerge the entire cover. And this stuff, these lacquer thinners and acetones and all that, they're stinky, they're smelly. And you have to wear proper ventilation, have proper masks, you have the ventilation. And to be honest, I'm not set up for that at the shop. And it's the middle of winter time, and we're not opening up doors and freezing our tushes off to do that sort of work. And I don't love doing that kind of work because it's toxic, right? These chemicals are very toxic. And not to say we wouldn't do them, but it has to be the right job. I'm just not doing that very often. In fact, Real Hyperion brought in a book on on Saturday that required some resto removal that I didn't want to get into because I think it's going to require you know, a solvent bath. That's what I wanted to say, not chemical bath, but a solvent bath. And I just don't want to get into that right now, you know. And so I referred him over to Kenny Sanderson, who's more I think he's more set up for that. I've got news 9.0 DC Comics presents. If any of your I've got a new. I think he's got one for sale. So if anybody wants a 9.0 DC Comics presents Canada Canuck Comics, Warren has one for sale. Go on over to Canada Canuck Comics over on Facebook. He's got a great page there, all kinds of sales. Check it out. All right, let's see what else we got here. We have some 9.8s. Here we go. Power Girl, number one. Power Girl Uncovered in a 9.8. Sorry, guys, just doing something here. No, I can't figure that out. Sorry about that. It's a newsstand too. All right, we also have an Amazing Spider-Man 300. Oh, shoot. An ASM 300 and a 6.5. Colin, we'll talk to you soon, pal. No worries. We've got a G.I. Joe Real American Hero in a 7.5. Oh, come on. There we go. We've got a Star Wars 68 and a 9.2. We got an X-Men 212. Always love this cover in a 9.6. Oh, one of my favorites is coming up, guys. You know this. We got a Demon, Etrigan, Demon number 1, Jack Kirby awesomeness. Very nice copy in a 9.0. We also have a Wonder Woman number 1. This, I think, is this Winston's book? 9.8. George Perez authentication right there. All right, what else do we have? Got a banger coming up here. Sorry, guys. Got a couple of big ones coming up here. All right, let's see here. We got a Batman 423 in a 9.4 white pager. We also have, you ready for this? Big one right here, guys. Love this. This is going to go on the, this will go on the Instagram for sure. Oops, sorry. Boom. Caliber presents 9.8 white pages. First appearance of the Crow. That's a nice one. Hey, guys? Nothing wrong with that. That's a big book. And then we have a DC Comics Presents 26 newsstand and an 8.0. I haven't watched it yet, but do you think the new Daredevil series will be good? I don't know, Kalen. I have no idea. I hope so, but I'm not getting Disney Plus, so I'm not going back to that. So I don't know. I'll watch it when I can watch it, maybe in some nefarious fashion, but 9.4 copy of Star Wars, number 42, right there. All right. That's box number 2, my friends. A box and a half to go. Before we do that, though, I want to talk a little bit about the tariffs and how I have a good friend who is a pretty huge dealer and has been dealing with shipping for 15 years, into the States, huge eBay seller. And, I can kind of go over some of his concerns and what kind of concerns he has. And I'm going to tell you from my point of view, I don't think these tariffs are going to affect us at all. That's what I think. And the reason why I feel that way is because, well, first of all, I'm not selling anything, right? And when I send books down to CGC, I clearly state on all the paperwork that these books are going to come back. These are our books. They're going down, being worked on, and being shipped back. So almost like a return and repair type thing, right? And to go one step further, CGC when they do the paperwork correctly, mind you, they write down that all the books are being returned to their owner. Not that it's been sold, that it's been returned. So that's on all their shipping, on all their commercial invoices. So our broker, the brokers and clearance Customs Canada knows that this stuff's not being sold. Okay. That's the main thing. Second thing, I've told you guys before, when CGC sends stuff back to me, the total on the box is $125. So if they were going to put a 25% tariff, it'd be on $125, right? So what's that? $30? It's inconsequential. Now that said, I can't say for sure what's going to happen. There's a lot of unknowns here. And not only for me, but for the people at the border, for the people working at Customs Canada, for the people working at the broker, through FedEx. So I don't know what to expect. I could find all of a sudden I'm starting to get mysterious charges. And I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm sure there are going to be some hiccups, some snags. What my friend suggested, and I think I do agree with him, is for the time being, I might increase the pricing on CGC a little bit. Just a little bit as an insurance policy. If something were to go wrong, if I'm charged $50 here or $100 there or $250 here, it's kind of just covered. And I'm not on the hook for anything. And I'm not all of a sudden, contacting you and saying, hey, you owe me another, $50 or $25 or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm throwing that idea around. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but we're going to see. Now I have boxes coming back as we speak, so I will know pretty soon what's going on. I've got boxes coming in inbound right now. In fact, I got clients sending me books from the States. So I got one coming in from California, one coming in from Texas, one coming in from Illinois. So I have 3 different American submissions coming in right now as we speak. So these are books coming in to be worked on. Now, I don't think the problem is going to be me sending these books to CGC. I don't think there's going to be any issue with that at all. Because I'm sending books to an American company to work on our books. So there's no issue there. The problem is going to be Canada when the books are coming back into Canada. That's where the issue is, right? So my American clients, nothing to worry about. I think it's business as usual. It's the Canadian clients, the majority of my clients who were in this kind of gray area. We don't know exactly what to expect, but I really don't think, in my gut, I don't feel it's going to be an issue. Now, my friend, my friend, when we talked about this, said, if anything, it's individual people sending their own books to CGC who may get stung more. It's your own books coming back, yes, but they could pick on you a little bit more. Because I can easily prove that I ship books down, they're coming back. I'm sure you can too. But I think what he was saying, it's more advantageous for people who want to have their books graded to go through a dealer like myself or through Carlo at Gotham Central or whoever your submitter is, to go through someone like that if you're Canadian, rather than dealing with all of it yourself, because it could be a lot of headaches and pain coming your way. Yeah, so I will know in the coming weeks, in the coming week, what to expect, I think. And I have heard nothing from my brokerage. I've heard nothing from CGC. One of my awesome clients sent me a notice that PSA is not taking any more shipments from Canada. Now, understand something. They didn't say from Canadian dealers. They said from the average Joe. So if you're an average Joe and you want to send your cards to PSA, you can't right now until further notice. But if you're a Canadian dealer, and there's a few Canadian dealers, and my friend who I'm talking about is a PSA authorized dealer, he can still send cards down to the States to be graded. So yeah, it's really, I don't know if I answered anything or not, but I right from the onset, I did not think this was really going to affect us. But I think where it could affect us is the unknown. People not sure what to do, and when they're not sure what to do, they usually just charge you. If Canada Customs is not sure what to do, they'll bill you, and that's what I'm afraid of. So we'll see. What are you guys saying? I might hurt the bookmakers. Lots of them get printed here. It's not going to last forever either. Lord O'Fleck, I agree 100%. It's not going to last forever. I wouldn't be surprised. I know Trump's talking tonight. I'm anxious to kind of go listen to his address. And maybe I think he's going to be kind of retaliatory tonight because of what our prime minister said, but we'll see, right? I don't think it's going to last forever, but yeah, you're right. A lot of comic books are printed in Canada. That might come to an end. They're going to maybe push to be printed in the States. Grounder, you can bet if it's a 25% tariff, companies are going to skim another 8% off the top. Everybody wants to protect themselves, right? I'm kind of feeling that way too. I just don't want to get stung with a huge bill in 3 months after I've given people their books back, and all of a sudden I get a bill for $800. That's it for me. I'm calling it quits if that happens, right? So what I'm trying to implement is kind of an insurance policy for myself that I'm not going to get stung down the road, because while I still feel everything's going to be okay, there may be it's like an insurance policy, I guess, for myself. Peter, can you issue a rider and an addendum to your orders, price subject to change based on tariffs and dollar exchange? Yeah. Well, I already have that on my website, that the price of grading can change in a moment's notice. Our dollar is dropping. So when that happens, the prices go up. So like, for example, this batch of books that are going down now, I'm sending a batch of books down this week. Once they bill, I have to look at my Visa statement and see what I'm being charged. And if it's a couple of bucks here and there, I don't make any changes. But if it's $5 to $7 difference, and I have to make those changes. But it says that on my website, even on the back of my invoice, it says prices can be changed based on the exchange rate. But now I might have to put an additional amendment based on potential fees from the tariffs as well. Good point, Peter. Good point. You're a lawyer. You must be a lawyer. Rob says there is also a PA. Yeah. So that's what they said. They said if you are a regular Joe and you want to submit books to PSA, you got to ship them to Nova Scotia, and then they'll ship them to you to the States. I think what they're trying to avoid is because listen, guys fill out paperwork incorrectly. The dealers know how to fill out the paperwork correctly. Just like I know how to fill out the paperwork correctly. When I ship your books to CGC, I know exactly how to ship the books where it's less, the path of least resistance. I kind of know how to do it. Even when the books are coming back, I figured it. I know who to work with. UPS, FedEx. I know how to handle each of those companies. I know what each of them expects at the border. I've dealt with it for almost going on 15 years. So I kind of know what to do. And I think the same thing applies for PSA. They just don't want to have to deal with like a single card coming in and then having all these tariffs attached to it, having to deal with that crap from the border. So they just rather have it all go to one place and have their main headquarters in Nova Scotia ship the stuff down in one foul swoop. And that makes total sense, right? It makes total sense. So there you go. That's what I think. Now, let's talk about. Everybody's been on my case. Everybody's been telling me, Kevin, start doing cards, start doing trading cards, on my Pokemon cards, do my Magic cards, do my NHL hockey, my OPG cards, my this, my that, whatever. Listen, guys, I've been doing cards for pretty much as long as I've been doing comics. I'm not lying. I just don't advertise it because it's not my bag, right? I don't love trading cards like I love comic books, but the tides are turning. I'm going to be quite straight up and honest with you. I did the show on Sunday, and I was slammed on Sunday, the Toronto Comic Book Show. Flip put it on. It was a great event. I was busy. If you saw me at the show, I didn't stop from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. Busy, busy, busy. But what I'm noticing, what I've noticed in the last several months, even the last year or so, is people have become extremely selective of the books they're submitting, and the number of books they're submitting is much less. So in the old days where I might get 10 or 15 books per person, now I'm getting 3 to 6 books. And that's a lot less, right? As you can imagine, we have enough to keep us kind of going, but we're starting to have a little more time. So I talked to Nipur, I talked to Charlo. Charlo's really gung-ho. And Nipur is actually quite gung-ho too. I'm kind of the holdout, to be honest with you. But you know, I've been doing some cards over the last few weeks. I didn't tell anybody this, but I've been working on cards and playing around with them, kind of sharpening my skills. And we are going to start offering them very, very soon. I'm going to add a page on my website very soon. So if you have any trading cards that you want to be cleaned and pressed or cleaned and fixed up before you get them graded, give the Comic Doctor a try. The Trading Card Doctor, a try. That's what it's going to be called, the Trading Card Doctor. A try, and we will hopefully get your cards looking great. And yeah, I have access to PSA as well, and I can start submitting cards to PSA. Now, it's not my own account. I'm using a good friend of mine who's been a PSA dealer for years and years and years. I have now access to his PSA platform, so I can submit cards through his account, my own name and my own information and whatever. But that's what I think is going to be happening. So again, if you've got cards, I'll start probably going to some of the smaller shows. I know Carlo on here invited me to go to the big card show that's coming up by the airport. I may come for a day or so, kind of feel it out a little bit. And yeah, anyways, keep your ear to the ground for more information on that. I'll post more information on that on my social, and I'll talk more about it here as well. So again, if you are into trading cards and you kind of dabble in both, you've got a trained paper conservator, you got this old fart and another old fart ready to work with you with your cards as well. And we can help get those cards graded either at CGC or at PSA. Yeah, Spiro says, I've got cards, bangers. I know. Spiro's one of the guys who asked. I know. So, and then, of course, here we go. Beckett. I'm not going to deal with Beckett. Not yet anyways. I'm going to try to keep it simple. PSA seems to be the industry leader, so I'm going to stick with them. And it would not be hard for me to get a Beckett account, but we'll see. Okay. And so I'm not done, guys. I have another full box of, you know what? Let's do the magazines first, because there's some really nice magazines in here. Check this one out. Beautiful magazine. Look at this. You ready? I think it's the only one in the sense. It's 9.8 white pager, Captain Britain, #2. Unbelievable. Gorgeous. From 1985. Only one in the census, if I remember correctly. Awesome. Let me take the slip out of there. I'll put that away. We got a few more mags. Not a ton of mags. We have a couple more. We got a signature series. We have Elf Quest #1. Signed by Richard Pini and Wendy Pini. Right there. In a 9.0. Very nice. We have a Last Ronin, 2 Last Ronins in a 9.8. The first one's a 9.8 right here. Haven't seen some of these in a while. We had quite a few of them, if you recall. We have a Savage Sword of Conan in a 5.5. We have a very sick copy of Monsters of Filmland, signed by John Carpenter. Finally, the book came back. Luke, you out there? We've been waiting a long time for this one. 9.4, signed by John Carpenter. Pretty awesome. Famous Monsters, #276. Movieland Classics. Very, very cool. Yeah, I get a few guys are calling me asking, hey, where are my books at? And yeah, oftentimes we're waiting on those vintage books from a few months ago. But not only that, if you ask for a signature, like a signature series event in CGC, sometimes those don't happen very quickly. This one has been at CGC since, I think, October, or maybe even earlier than that. It's been there for a long time. And Luke is signature crazy. He sent in to have Gal Gadot sign one. We haven't gotten that back yet. He has one. We're waiting for, what's her face? From the Hawkeye series, Haley, whatever her name is. That's been there since like friggin' the spring, like since last, like almost a year. And we haven't had that back, haven't got that back yet. So it all depends, right? And now we have a Beckett Hockey Monthly with Fedorov on the cover in a 9.2. Right there. It's not all just Sports Illustrated, guys. We also got a Beckett Hockey Monthly number 7 in a 9.4. And then we have the Ronin one we had. This is the second one. So a second 9.8 white pager. Nothing wrong with that. So there you go. That's all the magazines I have today. Now we have one last box of comic books. I got a lot of sorting to do tomorrow. Let me tell you. Let's go to the chat really quick before we continue, because maybe you guys are saying something else here. Let's see. Would you ever take in tag grading service? They fire in the States right now. What is tag? I never even heard of them. Do they do hockey cards and things? Are there cards? I guess they're cards. Guys want the industry standards. They want CG. You know, when I was doing CBCS, 99% of people ask for CGC. That's why I don't even bother with CBCS anymore. Not the fact that, and I mean, if I push CBCS on here into my customers, some of them would probably go for it, but I just had a really bad experience with CBCS, so I kind of left them alone. So I kind of stick with CGC take the good with the bad with CGC, but I stick with them. When it comes to cards, PSA seems to be what everybody wants. So that's where I'm kind of hanging my hat with them, even though I've never used them before, but that's where I'm probably going to go. The grading on cards seems so strict. I'll keep mine raw for now. That's cool. That wasn't Savage Sword. What was it? Oh, Savage Tale. Sorry, Trevor. Holy cow. I'm not a Conan aficionado like you. All right, let's keep going here. We have a 4.5 copy of Giant Size X-Men number 1. This one's got it says it's got a trimmed cover, even though it doesn't look like a trimmed cover, and a 4.5. Kind of faded a little bit. Very cool. Then we have another one. This one's a 4.0. Come on, get back in the bag. Holy cow. Then we got a 4.0 Giant Size X-Men right there. That's quite faded. And then we have an Amazing Spider-Man 316 in a 9.6. It's a newsstand copy, as you can see. All right, let's see. Then we have the Star Wars number 1. That's weird. In an 8.5. Oh, there's a good story coming up on another one. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love this story. We have a Venom Enemy Within number 1 and a 9.6. And those glow-in-the-dark eyes. And I think chest plate as well. We've got a Destroyer Duck number 1 in an 8.5. Right there. We have an Amazing Spider-Man 299. I love to see this in a 9.8. Nice to see. Nice to see. Now, this book coming up right here, Flash 139. And these two, I think it's these two. Anyway, you got a Flash 123 and a 4.5. I think it was, oh, I don't remember. It was either this one or this one right here. I don't remember which one it was. Part of me wants, I think it was this one. Flash 139. This came back last time with a purple label saying the cover was clean. Now, we did not clean this cover. We pressed and cleaned this book. That's all we did to this book. And someone at Cgc determined that someone at some point in this book's history washed it. And so they gave it a purple cover. And I'm like, that's baloney. It did from what I could tell and the experience Nipur and I now have, this book was not washed at all. So we took it out of the slab and we sent it back and it came back. Look at that, a blue label. How do you like it? So this kind of goes with how you have to kind of work with CGC, which was very frustrating, but unfortunately seems to be on this one's pretty cool too. I think I showed that one already. It might have been this one, but I think it was the other one actually. Okay, so you get a book back from CGC, you're not happy with the book. You're not happy with the grade. You're not happy with whatever. They did something to it, whatever. You're not happy. What do? So you can write to CGC and say, hey, listen, I don't like what happened. And generally speaking, unless the book has been really badly, badly damaged in the slab, there's not much they're going to do. In my experience, there's not much they're going to do. They're going to say, oh, send the book back and we'll look at it. If you don't like the grade, for example, or say it comes back purple label and you don't think it was a purple label and they say, we'll send it back. But they tell you, if they determine that they are right and you are wrong, they are going to charge you to re-slab it, to regrade it. Okay. And so what I tell people, and not because I want them to spend more money, I think I just want them to save their sanity, is just crack the damn book and send it back again. Because, yeah, I know it costs money. I know it's a pain in the ass. I know you shouldn't have to do that, but the rigmarole involved with trying to get an answer from them and to get them to take a look at the book and like what happened with Andy's Hulk 181, I think was a miracle. The fact they actually went back on their decision and gave him a blue label. If you're following the show a few weeks ago, he was given a book that was a purple label and a green label. And they went back and said, no, okay, you're right and we're wrong. Like, holy cow, I don't believe it. It's very, very rare that happens. But that takes a lot of time to do as well, too. So what I've been telling people now is if you don't like what you see, whether you're with me or whoever, I would write a letter to CGC. Now, you can't send it to CGC, but the person sending the book in for you can. And I have no problem. If you are not happy with something, if I'm doing the books for you and you're not happy with something, send me a letter, to me, to be sent to CGC, and I'll forward it to CGC, and then they can deal with it. But again, when it comes to like, you don't think the grade is correct, they're going to say, oh, well, that's your opinion, right? That's the way it kind of goes. So short of the book being damaged, to me, and it's happened to me many times, I've cracked the book and resent it because I didn't agree with something. You just do it because I don't want to me, time is everything. So for me to spend an extra $100, I'd rather just spend the $100 and be done with it. If the book is that important. If not, then just leave it and move on to the next book. But yeah. So again, this one here, if you're just getting here now, this one here came back originally. It was a while ago too, because it got sent back as a vintage book and it's taken forever to come back. But this one was sent way back originally back in August, I think. And it came, or maybe even earlier than that. And it came back with a purple label saying it was washed. Well, was it washed? Well, one grader thought it was washed. This grader obviously did not think it was washed. Anyway, so there you go. Some more Flash books. We got a Flash number 169 and a 6.5. And by the way, that's the opinion of a lot of guys I know who submit thousands of books. I know guys who will ship a book back 4 or 5 times. They won't even bother dealing with the email. They just send it back. They'll crack it and send it back, crack it and send it back, crack it and send it back until they get the grade they want. That may sound ridiculous, but they do it. Flash 122 and a 7.5. Now, Kaylin, you were asking about the work we do. I'm going to tell you about it in this next book. This book is awesome. This is an X-Men number 14. First appearance of the Sentinels. This was given to us by Marco. Marco's on here sometimes. This book underwent a lot of work. This one was washed. This one was light therapied. And look at that. 4.5. Blue label. No issues. You know, you'll notice the back doesn't look stark white. You know, when you wash the book, come on, there we go. The book is not stark white. It still has that nice bone finish. You know what I mean? We don't try to make the book look unnatural. We want the book to look very natural. So there was lots of staining on this book, lots of water staining and water damage. We were able to reduce it, remove it, and actually lighten the book, actually breathe new life back in the book, because when you do a deacidification, you're actually strengthening the paper. You're actually reintroducing humidity back into the paper. So it's giving that paper more life again, right? And so this is just one example. I was waiting a long time for this to come. This also is a vintage book. I sent this in, and then they turned their turnaround time. They upped their turnaround time to 115 business days. So we've waited a long time for this. So very happy to see this one back as a 4.5 blue label. Awesome. What else we have? We also have an Amazing Spider-Man 52 and a 5.0. We have a Killing Joke and a 9.8 right here. Okay. We also have a Web of Spider-Man number 118 and a 9.6. And an Action Comics number 869 and a 9.8. There's a cool one coming up too, actually. I got to do before and afters of this one. We got a New Mutants 98. Came back in a 9.4. And a 9.4. And then we have a Vengeance of Bane. Man, we always seem to do really well with Vengeance of Bane. Vengeance of Bane's press out really nice. We get good results with those. Boom, 9.8. Very nice. Always seem to have dents, these books, and we get those out really, really nicely. All right. We've got a Deadpool. Here we go. For those people, and I had a couple of guys at the show on Sunday. Can you press embossed raised covers? Can you press those? Because I don't want you to damage my book. I don't want you to flatten it out. Well, here you go. Here's a 9.8 copy of Deadpool number 1 and a 9.8. And as you can tell, if you know this book, it's raised. The Deadpool lettering is raised. Yes, you can press these books. Of course, you gotta be careful. And there are, these are not very forgiving, by the way. If you've got lots of dents on these types of books, these raised, image books, they're hard because it's usually card. And when card gets dented or dinged, it's kind of hard to smooth that out. Although you can improve it. In this case, we got a 9.8. So yeah, you can do it, guys. A lot of guys saying you can't. That is a fallacy. 100% you can, if you know what you're doing. All right. We got a 9.8 copy of Venom number 1, Lethal Protector. Not a super expensive book, but I love this book. I don't know why. I like this book. This book is sick, especially with the custom label. Love this Venom number 1. All right. This is awesome. This one is Cam's book. This one here, if you watched the show a while back, was a 8.5. 8.5? What the hell? It's a 9.8. This book somehow got by. Quality control. It got by me. Sometimes when you press a book, how can I say this? Sometimes the release paper gets steam and trapped underneath, and it will cause rippling in the book. And somehow I let that go by. So as soon as I saw that, I know we can fix it. I cracked it out. It was an 8.5, and we got it back up to a 9.8, which I knew we did. Poor press this one. So very happy. Cam, your book's back. Came back at 9.8, which is very cool. I didn't charge Cam. That was my fault. So I paid for that. I repressed it, sent it back in, no charge. What the heck? Is that it? Oh, wait. And I think, we got some more here. Okay, and then that's it. Then we also have Another, nice 9 point, beautiful 9.8. Todd McFarlane, authenticated autograph, number 312, great green goblin cover with a hobgoblin and a 9.8. And a Star Wars number 2 in a 9.0. Excuse me. And last but not least, we have a 9.2 copy of New Teen Titans number 2, George Perez, authenticated signature on page 1. There you go, guys. Three and a half boxes tonight. 3 more boxes to share with you, which I will get to, like I said, probably realistically on Sunday. If I can, maybe I'll do it. I may even do a Friday show, but it'll be in the daytime, like around 11 o'clock in the morning. If I do it, no guarantees, guys. I'm really busy, but I'll see. More than likely to be over the weekend. Let's see what you guys are saying, and then I'm going to get the heck out of here. Those are some nice flash books. Yes, Dan, and I see you say here, I remember that 139 was a purple label. I think a 7-0. Yes, and they changed it. I'm not sure what the grade was. I have the label somewhere, but they did rectify it. I know sometimes the glow in the darks, they can get less glowy as time goes on. Does that affect? No. It doesn't affect the grade at all. Does not affect the grade at all. And yes, Dan, and you do. And funny enough, when he was bringing the books to me at the show, I said, you got to meet Dan, and a fellow Flash fan. The X-Men book looks like really good. Is it off-white pager? Which X-Men book are we talking about? David Burns. There he is. There he is right there. Dan and Maury, nice to meet you. Another Flash fan. Those 4 books are mine, and it was the 139 that was purple. And David, what was the grade on that again? Do you remember? Because I don't have it in front of me. And then, Peter, is that Action Comics with beers on the front cover? Yeah, it is. Pa Kent and Clark enjoying a beer. Venom Lethal Protectors 1 and 2 are great covers. I'd have to agree. Peter says, I have quite a few silver and early Bronze Age Flash comics in raw. Peter, there you go. Oh, you know what? You should. Peter's local. Dannon's local. I'm sure. I think David doesn't. Do you still buy Flash books, David? I don't know. But Peter's got an amazing collection of Flash books, guys. You guys should hook up. Hey, there he is. Steve's in the house. Hey, man, I heard the show on Sunday went okay. Good to hear. Roy sold. Yeah, Roy did quite well, I think. I was busy the whole show, Steve. It was great. It's just people aren't dropping up. I used to have guys dropping off 30, 40 books to get pressed, clean, and graded. Times have changed. Times have changed. We are getting books consistent. I got a lot of books coming in from the States still, but not getting like hundreds of books anymore. But guys, it's a great time to buy. If you are a speculator, it's actually a good time to pick up. You don't have to get them pressed and cleaned right now or graded right now, but it is a good time to buy. Rob says the ASM 10 looks like it still has rippling along the top edge. I'm not sure which one we're talking about. ASM 10, where was that? Oh, here. 10. No, the 10. 10? ASM number 10. Oh. Are you talking about the one that we redid? Is that what you're talking about? That modern? Yeah. I explained that earlier, Rob. A lot of the again, I'll explain it one more time and I'm gonna get out of here. A lot of modern books, and I'll give you a great example of that would be I always use this as an example, would be the first appearance of Spider-Gwen, right? That purple book, that one always has ripples when you buy that book. It's a rippled book. And again, the reason why these modern books tend to ripple a lot, and you can press those ripples out, they oftentimes come back, they revert. But CGC does not really penalize too hard because they know the paper does that. And what happens is if the cover tends to be dark, like a lot of dark covers, like blacks or dark blues or purples or even a lot of green or whatever, it just kind of, it's like if you take this piece of paper here and I mist some water on it, it's going to go ripply, right? What happens is when that ink hits the paper, it hits it wet, it dries, and it almost permanently ripples it. And yeah, you can press that out, but by the time it gets to CGC and it's put in that crappy holder, which kind of pinches the book, oftentimes it does revert. So I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, you'll find that a lot on modern books, and you'll find that a lot of those modern books still garner a 9.8, and in some cases even a 9.9. So yeah, nothing to be too freaked out about. If you're buying new books and there's a little bit of rippling in the top of the book, and you notice that the colors in the book are very intense or very dark, it's a very normal thing. So I wouldn't be too concerned about it. All right, guys, listen, I want to go check out what let's see here. A flash give it. I thought I saw. Yeah, there you go. It was the glare. It was no the glare. The glare brings the rippling out even more. Do you think people aren't submitting because the economy or the interest? All of that. I've been saying that for weeks and months. That people, it's just tough out there, guys. It's not cheap. Our dollar stinks. To grade books for Canadians, it's extremely expensive because our dollar is extremely. It's just getting weaker as well, and everything's gone up. Cost of living's gone up. Cost of everything's gone up. So we don't have as much extra money to spend. So there's all kinds of factors. Also, the hype around comics is kind of settled a little bit. The movies really drove it a lot. And during COVID, the movies were still pumping on all 8 cylinders. Now it's kind of, it's going through a lull. And that's why I say it's a good time to buy. If you're able to buy, go out and look for those key books, like things like even like a Hulk 181 or a Giant Size X-Men 1. These books are still expensive. First Punisher is like almost half of what it was during COVID, right? It's a great time to buy these key books. But look for the deals, right? Look for the deals. It's still a good time. But like everything else, it'll turn around. I think it will. I also would be glad to meet you guys. RE the Flash books. Peter G, there you go. See you Friday. I'm going to try to do Friday. Not sure. Or Saturday. Oh, you're coming Saturday. Book that appointment, Trevor, because I'll forget. Please book it. All right, guys, listen. That's it for me. Do you think I think any movie that does well will bring the hype back. I think any film that's received very well will kind of infuse that excitement back into the hobby. People are starting to buy Secret Wars, but the price for Secret Wars, the new Secret Wars, is starting to go up again, right? People want them to be good. People want to enjoy this stuff, but it's just kind of even Star Wars, all these IPs have been really bastardized over the last several years, and it's quality's really gone downhill, and the stories quality's gone downhill, character quality's gone downhill, and there's a changing of the guard in terms of the actors and whatever. So people are, it's not as exciting as it once was. That's all there is to it. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, listen, I'm gonna go. I want to go see what Donald Trump's talking about, if he's even started talking yet or not. Have a great rest of your night. If you haven't done so already, guys, please hit that subscribe button. Join us every Tuesday at 8:30 to talk more about comic books and all that fun stuff. And hit the like button too, and notification bell too, so you know when I go live on Sunday, if I go live on Sunday. Guys, thanks very much. Have a great rest of your night and a great rest of your week. Until next time, have a good one. Bye for now.